Hello. I had a request to record a video on helping to tame panic and anxiety, kind of a panic SOS in the moment. What can you do if you're feeling overwhelmed and you maybe feel like you're having a panic attack or you're on the verge or you're just having some anxiety that feels really difficult to manage? So, the easiest thing that you can do in the moment is just manage your breath. Now, the breath can go a long ways in helping to regulate your nervous system, also called the limbic system. And there are two sides to your nervous system. We have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And the sympathetic nervous system, think sympathetic, sympathy, sadness to kind of help you remember. So the sympathetic part, when we're in this state, that means we are in fight or flight or freeze or fawn mode. And if you want to know more about these four trauma responses, I can do another video on that as well. But really, we're looking at the fight or flight. Those are the two biggest ones. That's what happens when you are in the sympathetic part of your nervous system. When you are in the parasympathetic, that means you are in your rest and digest mode. That means you can relax. You don't feel like you're in any danger. The unfortunate thing is that when we've been spending our lives in this sympathetic nervous state, our systems can unfortunately get stuck in this state. And so that we're constantly feeling like we have anxiety or we feel unstable or we feel like we're living our lives in fear, even if we don't understand what's really going on. So one of the things that happens when we get into this sympathetic nervous state is that our breathing changes. And so a little bit of history on breathing. And I know that some people are thinking, Tanya, I've been breathing my whole life. How is breathing supposed to help me with anything? Well, there is a proper way to breathe. And just a little bit of history for breathing. When we are born as little babies, we naturally breathe from the belly. So if you've ever watched an infant breathing in their peaceful state, their bellies are just rising and falling because they're breathing with their tummies. And that is the natural way to breathe. And over time, as we grow and we become adults and we're faced with all these stressors, which I like to call modern saber-toothed tigers, our breathing changes and then it gets stuck more in the chest because we learn to take more shallow breaths when we get into the state of the sympathetic nervous system. And our breathing comes from up here. And that can contribute to a whole host of physical and emotional problems. Just breathing from your chest and not getting enough oxygen in your bloodstream into your brain. So, something that you can do when you feel like you are in panic mode, or even prophylactically to help ward off panic or just learn to help your stress levels, the biggest thing that you can do that is also the lowest hanging fruit in all of this is just learn to regulate your breathing and learn how to do belly breathing. So something that you can do right now that you can try with me is you can just put your hands on your belly. And then when you inhale, I want you to inhale through your nose. And then as you inhale, you're going to push your belly outward and just expand that like a balloon. So let's try this together. So hands on belly, take a big inhale through the nose. Expand that belly out. Exhale. When you exhale, you can exhale through the nose, you can exhale through the mouth. It's always best to inhale and exhale through the nose, but through the mouth is fine. I don't want to make this too complicated. So when you inhale again, you inhale through the nose, push your belly out like a balloon. You want to expand your tummy out. And then when you exhale, You want to pull it back in. And you want to do that deliberately and slowly. So I like to start people maybe to a count of 4. So let's try that where we're going to inhale to a count of 4 through our nose, pushing our bellies out. Ready? So let's inhale. So we've inhaled for 4, and then we are going to exhale to a count of 4, which I just did. So let's try that one more time. So you're going to inhale through your nose. Okay. So a word of caution here. If you're not used to breathing this way, if you're not used to breathing through your belly and taking such deep breaths, what's going to happen is you might feel lightheaded, you might feel a little bit dizzy, you might get some numbness and tingling. It's perfectly normal. It's because your body and your brain is not used to all this oxygen flooding its system. And your sympathetic nervous system's like, oh, hold on. This kind of feels like a threat, but it's not. I'm not quite sure how to regulate this. So we're just going to feel weird initially. But over time, as you practice breathing this way, one, it'll become more natural. It'll be like second nature. My cat over here is breathing along with us. So it'll feel like second nature. You won't even really have to think about it, just like you do now when you breathe. You don't think about it, you just do it. So over time, the belly breathing will become the same way. And the key to this is consistency. So practice over time, repetition, that is what is going to cause a lasting change in your brain. And we call that rewiring your brain or neuroplasticity. So breathing, the breath can do amazing things for your physical and mental health. And regulating anxiety is just one benefit that breath can do. And if you're interested in learning more about this, I can create other videos talking about just how powerful our breath can be. So for now, the next time that you find having anxiety, you feel like you're panicking or you need that SOS in the moment, just try some deep breathing, just some nice, slow, deliberate belly breaths. All right. Thank you, everyone.